Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Friday, Friday. It comes so fast and then just doesn't last long enough, does it, on the weekends. But I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I'm on just a couple of minutes early just to make sure I can get everything working. Say hello when you come in. Make sure we can see comments. So I'm trying to go live on Fridays. I can't pinpoint an exact time every Friday, so I just get on here when I can on Friday. So hopefully that will last for us a little while. All right, so I've got me pulled up over here. Let's see if I can find the live. There we go. Now, if we can just see comments, we'll be in business. So say hello when you come on so I can make sure everything's working right. Okay, looks like we may be in business. Okay, hi, Susie. Hello, I see you on the phone, but I don't see you on the laptop yet, so or on the iPad, so we'll give it a minute to catch up. Seems like it's always so slow. But welcome, come on in. Hi, Margarita, hello, hello. Okay, so just to let you know, every single Dippin' Dottie order is on its way. I think there's 3 that I just put in the mail this week. So those are all in the mail for you. So you should be getting those any day. You're watching you on your break. Okay, well, I would like to say that I'll finish in time so you'll see everything before your break ends, but I am not a fast painter, so that's not going to happen probably. Hi, Debbie. Hello, hello. So I'm a little bit scratchy today. That's just Texas for you. But what we're going to paint, you know, I've painted the other 2 little plates like this. Now, this one is just the opposite. The other 2, the center part was indented, so you could sit something down in it. This one is, you can see, is raised. So the center is raised on it. It's a little bit different, and this one's a little bit smaller than the other ones. But this will be my last one, so I want to get it finished up. And you know what? I just noticed there's a sticker on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and get that hot while you're coming on and see if I can get that sticker off. There's your little tidbit. When you've got stickers on things, just get them really hot. And it looks like, most of the time, they come off so much easier. Not all the times, but usually this will help and this will take care of it. So we'll get it off. I may not even paint the back of it. And that sticker looks like it probably told where it was made and who it was made by, but I don't see, I mean, there's not enough of it left to be able to tell anything about it. But I think I'm going to leave the back just plain anyway. So that's really not going to matter. But, okay, I'm not seeing any comments yet on my iPad. So let me get out and go back in. All right, we'll give it just a minute. Hi, Elizabeth. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I have been, Mr. Pam and I have had a little project going on at the house, and so we have been really busy the last couple of days. Y'all all know that I was at Jack and Ellie's the first part of the week, helping with appointments and all that good stuff. And I'm sure you saw the video that we had on him, of him. Let's see if this came back up. Just running around like crazy, like nothing has ever happened, which is fantastic. Like I said in my post, considering 2 months ago, he couldn't even stand up. He couldn't even sit up for a while, you know, so God is amazing. And we thank you so much for all your prayers. He has heard them. He's doing well. There we go. There's some comments. Hi, Judy. Susie said it's snowing again here in Virginia, in Fredericksburg. I heard we might get another round of snow in a week or so. I'm not sure. I know Mr. Pam's not going to be happy about that. I'm not really going to complain about it. All right, so that is coming off, but since I'm not going to paint the back of it, I'm not going to worry about it right now. We'll save some time. So what I'm going to do with this one, the other two, you know, I did the big face on it, but this one I'm going to do just a little, I don't know what you call it, a little scene. But while we're getting started on that, I wanted to remind you, if you have not sent me an email or a message in Messenger, either one, Messenger's fine, for the tips and let me say that again, tips and techniques tutorial that we're going to have on February the 28th. That's on a Saturday. The first tutorial will be from 10 to noon. And the second one will be from 3 to 5. We'll take a little bit of a lunch break in between. And this is really going to cost you a lot. It's free. It's not going to cost you a penny. It is not going to cost you anything. Pour you a cup of coffee, whatever, sit down. But on the page, tips and techniques tutorial, once you send me a message in Messenger or email me that you want to be a part of that, I can send you an invite and get you added to that page. That's the only way you can get into the page. So, and we're going to do that on that Saturday morning from 10 to noon, and then from 3 to probably 5-ish, somewhere around in there. And it's just going to be just some tips and techniques that I've learned along the way. It definitely will not be everything. There's no way I can get everything I want to show you in that short amount of time. But I'm going to show you a few things that I hope will help you, especially if you're a newbie to painting. I think that you might learn some things. And if you know everything that I go in there and teach, didn't cost you anything, and maybe it will kind of spark your creativity again. I don't know, but you'll enjoy visiting with us on there. So again, it's free. The page is Tips and Techniques Tutorial, but you have to send me an email or a message in Messenger saying, please add me to Tips and Techniques, and then I'll send you out an invite and we'll get you in there. We've got almost 100, and last time I looked, there was close to 140 in there already. So I've mentioned it a couple of times. I have posted it on here. So I don't want anybody to miss it. So it doesn't cost you anything. It's just going to be a freebie in my appreciation to you for all of your support. Okay, so I think that's all on that. And I will tell you in the on that page what you need. You really don't need much of anything to practice on. But I'll go into that on that page. Hi, Janet. Hello, hello. Okay, and I also want to tell you, if my eyes look a little funny, I had to put some eye drops in this one, and this eye is very dilated. So if you've ever had your eyes dilated, you know what that is. Now, I've always had both of them dilated. This time, only one was dilated, and so I'm seeing a little wompy jawed. So we're going to see how this turns out today. Not sure what we're going to get, but we're going to go for it. Who cares? All right, so I'm going to bring you down. The date, again, Janet, is on Saturday, February the 28th. And for those of you that go in, that ask for an invite and you are part of that group, there will be a replay, on that page. You can go in and watch the replay if you can't make that time. So I think Facebook will leave it on there for 30 days. I think is what it is. So you'll be able to go in and do that. It's not going to be anything amazing. It's just going to be some little tips and things that I've learned. It'll just be a relaxing time. And then you'll have that break in between if you want to practice some of the things that we're going to do. We're not going to paint a project. It is simply just going to be tips and tips and techniques and things that I've learned along the way. Just little tricks here and there. And who knows? We might do a little tour. I was just thinking maybe a little tour of my little craft corner here. It's nothing like the other craft room that I have, but I've got my little space and I can show you, I can just give you a little tour of that, which will take all of about 60 seconds. So anyway, hope you'll join us and we're just going to have fun. All right, so I'm going to bring you down. Again, this is wood. I don't know what kind of wood it is. This is something that my daughter picked up at a thrift store for me. She picked up all three of them, and she said, "Here, Mom, I know you can do something with these." So I've got her trained to look for things for me too. Okay, so I'm going to bring you down. All right, I think you can see it from there. And again, I apologize for all the sniffling. The wind is blowing like crazy, and the project that Mr. Pam and I have been working on has a lot of sawdust. just of drilling, and so that's got us both going. So I might be blowing and a going here. Okay, I'm going to start out with, and I'm just not sure how I want to do this, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to start out with Williamsburg Blue for the background, and I'm going to paint the whole thing. We're just going to do the whole thing in that. Well, let me wait just a minute. Let me think here. Do I want it, the whole thing painted? Or do it? Nope, we're just going to do the center, I think. Let's just do the center and see what we come out with. We may just leave this stained around it. There's just so many different ways you could go with it. So we're going to go with the Williamsburg Blue. And I'm just going to grab an old, it's just, this one's an angle brush, and it's a size, not even sure. I think it's about a half an inch. So I was going to use the large one since I thought I was going to do the whole thing. But we're going to go down to this one. Okay, can everybody see okay? It looks like it. All right, so let's just get, and I'm going to go ahead and go in this ring as well. That'll just make life so much easier. And this is pretty grainy, so you want to be sure and get down in the grains. So I'm just going to kind of freehand the pattern on. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to my brush. I did sand that, and that was way too much water. So I'm going to spread it out and get a little bit of that off. Okay, so I'm adding a little more paint to that. I forgot to dab my brush before I put it on there. So I sanded it as best I could down in the grooves. I think next week, or the next time, it may even be before next week, that I paint, we're probably, I'm not positive yet, but probably going to do a blue jean jacket. One of you sweet followers on here, and she is on here today, but I'm not going to say her name because I didn't ask her. She may not want me to say her name, but she's been sending me some precious blue jean jackets, and so I'm really inspired and anxious to get started painting some of those. I got to thinking, I told Mr. Pam yesterday, which is Mr. David, my husband. Somebody sent me a message that I've only heard Mr. Pam. What is your husband's real name? So his real name is David, but you all started calling him Mr. Pam, and that just stuck. One of the girls at one of the paint parties started that, and it just kind of stuck. But anyway, I told him, I said, you know, I have got to get busy painting things for the November craft show. I said, the one I do in November at our school, I just haven't painted hardly anything for it. I've been busy business-wise with the Dippin' Dottie sales and planning our in-person paint party and the tips and techniques tutorial that we're going to do. And then I have another right after that. I'll tell you the date during then. We're going to have an online tutorial that, or workshop rather, that we are going to paint something so neat, but it's very limited because I only have, we're going to paint hats, and it's very limited because I only have 30 something hats, and once those are gone, they're gone. There's some that I had left over. So it will be a small online class, but everybody can watch. but I will be sending you all the material except for the sealer that you need. I'll send you the wig head, just all that kind of good stuff. So you'll have a big box of stuff that goes with it. And then I've picked out the pattern for the next online party or workshop that we're going to do. It's a spring one and it's so cute. But in between all that, we're going to have another Dippin' Dotty sale. Mr. Jeff is working on that for us. All right, let me get this right in here. That's not very even right there, so let me go a little bit deeper. And I got way too much of this paint out, so I'm going to put some back in. I don't like to waste it. I'm going to go check out Michael's this week or next week to see what kind of a selection of Deco Art paint they have, since my Hobby Lobby doesn't carry it anymore, which breaks my heart and I think is a big mistake. They'll be losing some of my business. All right, just a little bit more. Isn't this a pretty color? I love it. Okay, I got a little bit on that edge there, but we're good. All right, so I think we're good there. I'm going to put most of that back in there. And then I think we're going to add just a little bit of white, just to kind of break it up a little bit. I love this color. I've used it on so many different things. Okay, now let's put just a little bit of white in there with it. Already got it all over me. Okay, so I'm going to go back in and get that same color on there, that Williamsburg blue. And I'm just going to kind of dip a little bit in here. And we'll just kind of slip slap it on. Is that a word? Slip slap? Where did I hear that? Somebody else used that word the other day. I'm not being very careful. I may end up having to, instead of leaving this stain, I may have to go in and paint it if I don't quit being so messy. Okay, so I'm just putting some white just to give it a little bit of a, just kind of an illusion of a sky. Not actual clouds, but just makes you think of it. Just kind of doing little X's. And I'm not going to go all the way down. And I don't want it to just blend in completely. I want to be able to see some of that white. And you know, white kind of fades in. Okay, so that's a little bit of a sky look. Now you could leave it just solid. You wouldn't have to do that. That's just kind of a little extra. Okay, let's get that good and dry. And then I'm going to try to put a pattern on here. but I want it to be really good and dry. Hi, Joanne. Yes, Hobby Lobby discontinued their Deco Art paint. They have their own brand of paint now, and so they're not carrying it. So once they sell out, it's gone. No, I did not paint my shirt. This is from teachersgram.com. That's where I get most of my t-shirt. teachersgrams.com. Their t-shirts are real comfy, real soft. I really, really like them. Thank you, Roxy, about Jack. He's just doing so well. Thank you, Dixie. Thanks all of you for your prayers. He is such a little trooper. He has to go back in a month after the cochlear surgery heals, and they'll activate it with the outside piece. Okay, now see how once it dried, that kind of softened up. So we're just going to leave it right there. And he'll have to have appointments every month pretty regularly for the first year. And definitely because they're making sure that other ear doesn't make any progression, that it's done. And so lots of appointments, but he's just doing fantastic. All right, a little bit drier here. I thought they were going to go into the ear and do the surgery, but no, they cut from the behind his ear, from the top of his ear all the way down to the bottom. Okay, let's see if I can get this drawn on here. We're going to go with a fence. And I'm just using a chalk pencil. Love using chalk pencils, or just chalk. I also always have a little piece of chalk here, which you will also get in your packet, in your kit, when you get your hat, if you're one that decides to do the hat workshop with us. So let's make this. I don't want this to be just a perfect fence. Okay, and then I'll do some little slats here. I think we will do, yeah, that's all right. Just trying to decide if I want want them to all be the same or make them kind of, okay, I think this first one we'll do it like this. Okay, and then I want the next one a little bit shorter. That wasn't much shorter. Let's come down here and make it a little bit shorter. Okay, and we're going to put, let's just go all the way across here. It's going to kind of stagger the other boards, but I think we'll be okay with that. And I'm not going to put one down here. Okay, so I am going to lower this. I'm going to lower these, I don't know what you call them, the running boards. So I'm going to make them just a little bit lower here. See, isn't that wonderful about chalk? You can just wipe it off and move on. Okay, so I want this one to come, we'll make it come down here. And they're not even all the same size. Okay, we're going to make this one in the middle there. And then I think I want one more. I think we can get that one up a little bit taller. So again, I don't have a pattern. I'm just kind of, I do have something that I bought. I'll show you what it is if I can reach it over here without knocking everything down. I'm kind of going by this. This we got at some thrift store. So that's kind of what we're going for. But I don't want it to be exactly the same. Okay, and then let's make one more here. And we'll make this one go the opposite direction. And this chalk shows up good on this color. Okay, so there's our basic fence. And now let's see if we can do watering can will sit down here about. Okay, let's start it. Right about there. Make this spout a little bigger. And then we'll freehand everything else in. So here's what we've got. Long ways to go with it. So I'm going to do the fence in sand. And I think I will do it in a small, let's see, how small do I want to go? Let's try this little flat. I may change to a small angle. This may be too small. I may not get the coverage we want. Then again, it might work just fine. And then once we're done, that chalk will just clean right off if you have any that's still showing. Dixie, I did post about it, but you don't, all you have to do is send me an email at young heart, not young at heart, but young heart creations at iCloud.com, or you can just send me a message in Messenger and just say, sign me up for the tips and techniques tutorial workshop. And I will send you an invite and get you in there. It's free, doesn't cost anything. Thank you, Joanne. You found those trays at a local thrift shop. $4. Well, grab one, but think they're a little bit smaller. Oh, there's just so many things you can do with them. Yes, grab them up. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much. When he came home, it was outpatient surgery, the cochlear implant. And when he came home, y'all saw that post with that big old huge bandage thing on his ear. And they had to put pressure on it to make the glue hold his ear back on. And he had to wear it for 24 hours. And so it was very uncomfortable. Oh, and he walked over to me when they came in, came straight to me, and put his hand over it and took my hand and laid it on his ear and said, "Gammy, fix it, fix it." And he was crying. And he said, "Fix it." And he said, "Help me fix it." Oh my goodness. You talk about ripping your heart out of your chest. You know, if this Grammy could fix it for him, I would fix everything for him. But you would do that for any of your grandkids. But it just broke my heart. And then the next, you know, and so I was just so upset. I came home that night, and it's all I could think about was him asking his Grammy to fix it. You know, Grammys should be able to fix anything. And I couldn't. But so I held him and I read to him and did what I could to kind of get his mind off of it, and then turned the TV on, and he was fine watching Paw Patrol. And so I'm thinking, you know, oh, the next day's going to be rough. He gets up like nothing's ever happened, playing, running around. So it's like I said last time, it has been an emotional roller coaster, and his mom and dad have been amazing. And the implant that he got is brand spanking new, state-of-the-art. First time that they've come out with them. Evidently, the older ones, if anything goes wrong, they would surgically, you know, have to go in and do something. Well, this one, you can do it remotely. So they won't have to make an incision every time something needs to be adjusted. So I just thought that was so wonderful that he won't have to go through that. Okay, this will definitely take 2 coats. I'm trying to fill in that little grain, but I don't really mind if some of it shows. This is not a real precise painting. It's very loose. Y'all know I'm trying to do that every now and then. I still like my style of painting where I like things, everything in alignment, and but I'm also trying to not do that every time. So this one, the grain kind of looks good because of it being wood, a fence. Doesn't really matter a lot down at the bottom because we're going to have that covered up. Okay, so here's where we're going so far. In my normal little OCD brain, all of these fence posts would have to be, or fence panels would have to be the same height, same width, or I would go crazy. I just couldn't handle it being uneven. But the 2026 Miss Pam is trying to get away from that so much. Now, I do still like it in a lot of things, but it doesn't have to be that way every time. That's what I keep telling myself. What Mr. Pam and I have been doing in the last 2 days that we've been home is putting none of our cabinets, kitchen, bathroom, laundry room, none of them had any door and drawer handles. It was just the wood, and I was constantly pinching my finger or breaking my fingernails, or just, you know, heavy and hard to open. And when you're only 5 foot tall, sometimes it's hard to reach where you need to. And so we finally put handles on. We got everything done, but so we got the kitchen done, the small bathroom, the guest bathroom, and the laundry room, and the kitchen done. And I think I said kitchen, but anyway, kitchen done. Those 3 rooms, and we ran out of pulls. I didn't order right, but they came today, so we'll get them our bathroom done tomorrow. Man, it makes such a difference. It looks nice, but it just makes it so much easier to open everything. And David said, "Why didn't I do this sooner?" I said, "Yeah, who's been trying to get this done for?" He's so good, y'all. I don't know where he finds all the energy he does, but he is so helpful, and he's great with his honey-do list, and he just has a knack for hanging pictures and things so accurately. I mean, he does the math and measuring, and he just always does such a good job. And so we work together as a team. We just enjoy doing projects together. There was a few minutes yesterday when I was trying to get the drawer. They're not really drawers, but they're right in front of the sink. And he could not get, there was no way he was going to get his hand in between it. And so I was trying to get mine in between it, and it was busting my knuckles open. And I was about ready to say, forget it. But we'd already drilled the holes. He was telling me, don't put handles. Those aren't real drawers. You don't need handles on them. And I said, but it looks funny without handles to me. My OCD, you know, everything else had handles. So those need handles too, whether they're real or not. So he was very, very patient with me, but I was getting very, very impatient with that part of it. Okay, and I don't want these to be perfectly straight either. So there we go. All right, let's try it and put one more coat on it real quick. I know, they do think we can fix it all. Oh, Dixie for the hat one. No, I have not posted that yet. It'll be closer, a little bit closer to time. I want to get the tips and techniques one out of the way first, so that I don't have 2 different things coming in at one time and trying to figure out, make sure which one they're trying to sign up for, because the hat one will have a cost with it. Hi, Dina. There will be a cost with it. This one, the tips and techniques, that one, there is no charge for that. I just need and there's no limit to that as to how many can get in. I just need you to send me either an email at youngheartcreations@icloud.com, or in Messenger, just send me a message and tell me that you want to be signed up for that. I'll send you an invite, and that invite will come in your Facebook notifications. And you will accept the invite, and you'll be in. Everybody's already in there talking with each other, telling us where they're from, and it's been so much fun just to watch everybody getting to know each other. And it's still, you know, a couple of weeks away or more. It's the 28th, so however far that is. And again, it won't be this big spectacular thing. It's just going to be me sharing a few things that I've learned that I think might be helpful for you, that has helped me. I'm going to wash that brush out just a little bit. Could I have gone with any smaller brush for this? But Oh well, we're getting there. And then we'll do some shading on it. All the little details will start making it look more like a fence. And again, this is sand that I'm using. You could also use bleached sand. It's a little bit lighter. Or you could use any light tan color. Or you could just make a white fence. Whatever color you want your fence to be. Then after the hat one, that spring one that I've got, I'm so excited about it. I've got to paint the sample piece, the mock-up. I haven't done that one yet, so I've got to do that. But I ordered some wood, the wood blank that we're going to be painting it on. And I'm really excited about it. That one will be, I can't remember when it is. I've got so many things on my calendar. I sat for 2 days just planning things out. And so I've got so many, I've got to be careful and not get them mixed up. So that's why I'm trying not to, I won't announce them until, you know, closer to time with all the details. I'm still working out the cost on that. I've got to see how much, I got to figure out how much the boxes are going to cost to put them in and all that good stuff. So I'm still figuring out my cost on that. I got the boxes for the hat one. They came in, I found one yesterday that will work. That one will be a little more expensive, probably. I'm not sure yet because I'm putting so much in it. But I try really hard to keep your cost down as low as I can. We're all going to paint the same thing on the hats. But you can paint it any color you want to, but it's mainly just to show you how to paint on them, how easy it is, how much fun it is. And I know that there's going to be some people upset because I'm very limited on how many can get in there, but you could paint along with us if you have your own hat and all the stuff that you need. But the ones that will be paying for their kits, I mean, they will be they will get everything that they need. But you can learn and then go get your own if you want to. All right, let's clean this up down here just a little bit. We're going to do some shading, so that'll help a lot. That'll start defining it. Okay, so very basic. Okay, I'm going to let that brush soak just a minute because I got quite a bit of paint in there. Okay, so while it's still wet, which is fine, I'm going to take angle brush. This is a number 8. It's the Keep Smiling brand, I guess. That's all it says on it. Keep Smiling. And we're going to use Sable Brown. Dina, when I will post when we get closer to time for that, closer to the 28th. Oh, it is a wonderful day, Heather. It is. Hi, Ashlyn. Hello, hello. Hi, Heather. Yeah, we're not ready for sign up for that yet. I'm still got to figure my cost and Still rounding everything up for that. Want to get through the tips and techniques tutorial first. That one's free. Okay, so this is sable brown. Okay, I'm going to do all of the same side at first while the other dries, so we don't just wipe it off. Doesn't have to be really, really dark. And down here is not going to matter a lot because we'll have grass and everything to cover that up. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of water on there. Okay, so that's one side. Look at the difference just shading that one side has made. It always amazes me how each step just changes the dynamics of it. And so these little rungs here will be behind the posts. Oh, I used to just hate angle brushes. I just could not get them to do anything. And now I think it's my favorite brush. And it was just sticking with it and just practicing and practicing. Okay, and I'm just adding a little bit of moisture each time. I'm just dipping it in that water. And it's things like this that will be in the tips and techniques, but we'll go a little bit slower. And you're probably thinking, okay, how could she go any slower than she goes? I know I'm a slow painter, but that's just the way I roll. Are y'all painting spring stuff? What are you still, or what are you working on? Are you still working on snowmen? I've got so many Christmas things that I need to be working on. So I will be ahead of the game. Okay, so now let's do the little rungs. I don't know what else to call them. We're going to call them rungs. Some water on there. Okay, let's do the top. We've still got, this is day 14 or 15 that we've got some snow and ice mostly still on the ground. I've still got some in my backyard. And for Texas, North Texas, that's just unheard of. But it's still there. Okay, I'm going to clean this one up just a little bit. Especially where it's crossing over that backboard. I want to make sure that gets plenty dark. Okay, a little more water. Okay, so I think that's plenty dark. I'm going to darken this first one over here up just a little. Just a smidge. Okay, so we've got all of that shaded, and now we need to go and put the nails in. And we're going to use a little Dippin' Dotty. And I think we'll just make the nails black. Or let's see, let's make them, I'm going to use this antique nickel. It's Anita's. So any dark gray will work. We're going to use that on the little watering can. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Susanna. Happy Friday to you too. So we're not signing up for any workshops right now. The tips and technique workshop or tutorials, that one is free. You can go ahead and send me a message in Messenger, or you can email me at youngheartcreations.com. I'm sorry. Rewind. youngheartcreations@icloud.com. And just tell me you want to be added to that, and I'll send you an invite. You'll get a notification in your Facebook notifications, and I will get you added to the page. That one's free for anybody. It's on February the 28th. That's a Saturday morning from 10 to noon, and then from 3 to around 5-ish. Okay, I think after looking at this, I think I want these nails to be, trying to decide if I want them to be black or if I like the gray. I think I want black. Can I change my mind? We're going to do them in black. I just think they'll show up a little better. So I dried those just enough that I can go over them. And I can go in and add some knot holes if I want to later, but for time's sake, we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so there we go. That's our fence. Let's get our little watering can base coated. I'm going to base coat it in Gray Sky, and then we'll do some shading either in this or in that Antique Nickel or in black. Not sure which yet. Gray Sky does have a little bit of a blue tint to it, but I think it'll be fun, especially once we shade it with the darker. And again, this is just a rough, hand-drawn little can here. Very quickly sketched on. So you can take a little more time with it and make it look more realistic. I went back and forth today, what I was going to paint and what I was even going to paint on this. It was first, I got everything out, and I think, okay, I'm just going to do a tall beehive and bees and some little flowers. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, no. And then I thought about this, and I thought, we're just going to go for this. I've been wanting to paint this one for a long time anyway, so trying to clean out my stash on my shelves. Trying not to buy anything to paint until I can get quite a bit of what I already have painted. So that's my goal. Now the aprons, that's an exception. Okay, this is pretty small, so it's going fairly quick. Right now it kind of looks like a ghost with arms sticking out. What do we always say? We gotta trust that process. I'm ready to plant some plants and get our yard. Right now, everything looks so bare with it being winter. I'm not a winter person at all. I like one beautiful snow, and then I'm done. I'm ready for some color back out in the yard. Okay, let's dry that and put a second coat on it. Trust the process, Brenda. That's right. Right, Dina. Not until after the tips and techniques on the 28th that's when I'll announce the hat one. But I want to get that one done first. And Vicki, no, I have not had art lessons. Just what you do, watch everybody else online. Oh, I just got my hand in the nail. So that's what you want to really be careful of when you do dots. They're going to not be dry for a little bit. So let me see if I can clean this up before it gets completely out of hand. I didn't notice it and it had dried just a little bit. Okay, I think that'll do it. I've gone to paint parties and paint tutorial little workshops and things just over the years. Watched a lot of people online, but I first started out, first thing I ever painted was a sweatshirt, and that was a little little workshop at the local college, our community college that we have here. And that was the first thing that I ever did. And then it was just trial and error, and we didn't have all these videos back then when I started. There was books. You just follow the directions in the books. Just a lot of trial and error. And then you just trusted others that already knew how to paint, you know, watching them. And I would buy things and just look at them and sit for hours trying to figure out, okay, well, how did they do this? And I've been painting for 38 years. Still so much I would like to learn. And I am terrible. I will be honest. I am terrible about comparing myself to everybody else and like, why can't I paint like that? But I'm getting better. Hi, Judy. Yes, every tree looks like a stick. Stick season. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you so much. Yep, I'm over the snow too. All right, let's get our little angle brush back out. Oh, we need to put one more coat on this though. Let's put another little coat on it. I think it would probably be okay, but I can see a little bit of that background blue. I didn't realize how much blue Gray Sky has in it until it's up against this blue in the background. Let that brush soak a minute. Looks like it's drying on there, and I don't want it to. And see, y'all say that, you know, that my painting skills, all those wonderful compliments that you give, that encourages me so much. And every single time that I get on here before I go live, I think, what can they learn from me? How are they going to look at me like, you know, I'm such an amateur, but I'm trying really hard to get myself out of that mentality. We're always our worst own critics. Okay, I'm going to take a little round brush if I can get it out. There we go. And kind of touch up this handle just a little bit. I'm not real happy with it. kind of clean it up along the edges a little bit there. I used to I just did not have the courage or the experience yet to paint anything unless I had a definite pattern to trace on to my surface. I would have never sat here and free-handed anything. But over the years, I've gotten a little more confident. I still catch myself thinking, oh, no, don't try that. You can't do that. What if you mess up? Blah, 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 blah. Well, if I mess up, we'll just fix it. We'll try to. Okay, I'm going to dry those nail holes a little bit more, or nail heads. Okay, so let's do a little bit of shading on this. And I want to see if I like this antique gray or if I want to go with black. I think I want to go with black. Okay, so I just got a little bit of water on it. And remember, black is so strong, you don't want much. Oops, I got my finger in it. I'm not doing too great with my fingers today. All right, let's get a little bit more. Still had paint on my brush. I thought I'd washed it out. And then let's go around it. And then we'll make our little holes. And I'll have to fix that little bit right there. Wiping some of that paint off. If you get too much water, it just waters it down too much and it just goes everywhere. So you just practice and practice until you are comfortable with it, and you might be more comfortable with a different brush. You can also do it with a flat brush. Okay, let's make where the handle is. Let's make it on the outside. Sorry I'm turning it so much. Then I think we may go with the gray around the other parts. Darken it up just a little bit. Okay, now let's try with that darker gray just on these other ones, other spots. You can even do the rust look on this. Whoops. Dropped it right out of my hand. I need to fix that spout. The spigot, is that what it's called? Spigot? And I'll show you here in just a second. Let's go like this. This wood is so grainy that the paint is bleeding a little bit. Let me show you. Here in this the little spigot or spout, see how it's kind of going across because of the grain? So we'll have to clean that up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to very lightly go over that gray with this black. Just to darken it up a little bit. So I've got a little bit of that gray and black in my brush right now. Such a tiny little area. And then just blend it out. I'm going to clean that up just a little bit there. I'm going to come back in with some of that just gray sky. And clean that up just a little bit. Super simple, but I think we're going to have some flowers coming out of it, so it's not really going to matter that much. Now I want to take the Dippin' Dotty, dip it in black, just on the tip, and we're going to make some holes. I don't want them really, really big. Okay, let's take a little bit of a dry brush. I'm just going to take this little makeup brush. I got it at Dollar Tree, I think. Let's highlight just in the center there. Okay, now let's go with grass. Let's start with, I always like to start with the darkest first. Hauser Dark. So Hauser Dark Green. And we are just going to use a liner brush. You can use a fan brush. You can use just an old scruffy flat brush, whatever floats your boat. So many different ways you can do it. Trying to decide if I want this one or if I want a little bit. Nope, we'll go with this one. Okay, so I've got my brush damp. So I'm going to start out with this round. It's a Grabby number 3. And I'm just going to start making little blades of grass. I'm going to make them come down some, and I'll make the dark thicker. Now you could do it just along each post, but I think I'm going to go all the way across. And then we'll go with a little bit thinner liner brush as we go. Black bleeding on the spigot actually gives it a little dimension. It does, yeah. If you like it, leave it. You're right. If you don't like it, figure out how to fix it. That's what makes us grow as painters. You're right. Look how many painters compare themselves to you. See, I don't see myself that way. My husband's getting on to me all the time. I had a girl at church the other day. We were trying to, it is only paint, Brenda. Oh, thank you, Susanna. Thank you, Dina. Dixie says she's 53 and started painting ceramics with Grandma. Snow Lady. Oh, that's so cool. I'll go back and read all of these later. I love going back and reading them all. But with, I don't remember what I was saying. I'm sorry. But anyway, you could do these just in little spots here and there, just in front of each fence post or panel. But I'm going to go all the way across because I think I'm going to add some flowers to give it some color. And I'm going to come down so that I kind of bring it down to the bottom of this center. Overlap them. So we've really got 2 rows of grass here. Again, you could do this with a stiff flat brush, with a fan brush. Let's put some out here to the side too. I'm going to the left, to the right. Some are fat, some are skinny. And I'm lifting up as I go. I start out pressing down a little bit, and then I lift up. And again, I'm going to make this base a little bit thicker, and then a little bit less and a little bit less as we lighten with each. We'll get lighter. I'll do 2 more shades. We'll do the Hauser medium green and then the Hauser light green. the spring workshop that we're going to have, it will have a ton of details in it, but nothing that you cannot do. We'll take it step by step. It's a really cute piece. It's not my pattern. I did get permission to use it just for the workshop. And see how putting something in front of something else just immediately puts whatever this is in the background. Whatever's behind the last layer that you did, it's going to put it in the background. If you paint over it, if you go behind it, then it's going to put that piece in the background. Thank y'all for the hearts. Thank you so much. I am making meatloaf for supper tonight, so I've got everything laid out. Because I thought, okay, I've got to do this quickly, so I'll have time to get Mr. Pam some supper ready before he gets home. I like to have it ready for him. He works hard. I like to show my appreciation by having his supper ready when he comes home. Try to have him a glass of tea ready. He is my best friend for sure. Just love traveling with him. He loves shopping. We like to go to antique things, just thrift stores, and see what all we can find. Okay, I'm going to come up just a little bit higher. With the grass. Okay, I think we're good enough there. Okay, so there's the first layer. Look how that changed it. I'm going to go ahead and dry that because we're going to go to the next color, which will be the medium Hauser medium green. So the first one was the dark one. Now we're going with the medium. Okay, and I'm going to stick with that same brush, and then we're going to go to a smaller one for the last color. And remember, I don't want to cover all that up, so I'm not going to do as many. Just gives you another layer, another bit of dimension. Going all different directions. And y'all know I have to have something on this fence. I know what I'm going to put on it. What do you think I'm going to put on it? If you've been following me very long at all, you know what I'm going to put on it. Somewhere. Pull that light down just a little bit. The video looks a little dark. Okay, now I'm covering up that blue a little bit too. it's okay if it shows through. We're going to cover it even more. I'm just not really even thinking what I'm doing. I am just going all directions. I'm going to re-wet my brush. Probably close my eyes and it would look even better. Just not thinking about what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to go back into that dark a little bit. And just put a few here and there. Okay. So that's with the two colors. Now let's go with a little bit smaller bristle. This is a long, it's not near as thick. It's a long liner. It is a number 2 Royal Langnickel. And let's go in with the light Hauser light green. So here's our greens. You could also use lime. And sometimes if I don't like how I want the light to be even lighter, I will go in with like lime green. We'll see how this does. I may want to go even lighter. Yep, I think this will do. I'm just flicking it. This gives it even more texture because the bristles on this brush are so different that it has a different look. Don't forget to go down to the bottom. Heading out for girly time with your neighbor. Well, have so much fun. Oh, I'm glad you liked the video. I'm telling you, it just makes us so happy. The grass, I used just a round. It's a number 3 grabby round, kind of a fat round. But you can use a flat kind of scruffy brush or a fan brush. Not a sunflower. Yes, Judy. And yes, Dixie. You know I got to get a ladybug in there somewhere. Okay, let's look at this. This side has 3 colors. This side only has the 2. And you could stop there. But look at the difference it makes just adding that highlight color. Looks like new growth, brand new growth coming in. And just adds a whole nother layer. And I do get a little bit of water on my brush anytime I'm lining, and I consider this lining. I like to have a little bit of moisture in my paint so it'll move better. So I'm going to the right, to the left, straight up, crisscrossing over. What do y'all like to fix when you fix meatloaf to go with it? Probably gonna have mashed potatoes and black-eyed peas. Or maybe corn on the cob. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I haven't gotten that far. Okay, I think that's enough for our grass. Then I like to go in with a little bit of that darker color and the medium. And I just kind of get some on the bottom here. Just to kind of fill in that blue down there, and then I just rub it in. And that just helps fill it in. It makes a mess of your fingers. All right, so look at that difference. Okay, now let me decide how I want to do the flowers. I think we'll just do yellow and white flowers. But you could do yellow, red, I mean, you can do whatever colors of flowers you want to do and ever how many you want to do. I really got the top of this a little bit tall. It would look a little bit better, I think, if it were lower. But I think what I'm going to do is make the bottom part just a little bit thicker up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's put some flowers on here, and let's use, see if that's too big. Nope, I think that'll be fine. Let's go with yellow for dots, and then we might make some little, well, before we do that, let's use white. Since I've already got white out on my palette, let's use that. These are teeny weeny. So I'm just going to go with a little bit smaller round brush. We'll see how that goes. I may need to jump up to, oop, that one's got one sticking out on it. Okay, I think it'll be okay. So I'm just going to dip in that white. Let me see if I can snip that, because I think it's going to get in my way. Got a little bitty bristle sticking way out. See if I can see it. No, I could see it a minute ago. There we go. I think I got it. So I'm going to really load the tip of it up with white, and we are just going to make some little, I'm just pressing down, lifting up, just to make it look like some flowers. it'll put some centers in them. Fix that petal. So press down, lift up, redipping. And then we'll come in and do some yellow ones also. So press down. And in the tips and techniques workshop, I'll show you how to how to do these. A little trick to kind of fill them in. I touched that one in the wrong place, but there we go. Let's see if I can get that off right quick. That one. That one just didn't look right at all. Oh, it's changing it. I'm going to come up above in front of that watering can to make that watering can look like it's sitting behind. And let's put one right over here. And they're different sizes. They're not all the same size, and they don't all have the exact amount of petals. Okay, now I'm going to come with a little bit bigger flower with the Dippin' Dotty. We're going to use primary yellow. And I want a good puddle. Now these are going to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to dip. I'm going to make sure none of them are connected. Got a good clean. And we're just going to press. Dip. And press. And we'll put one right there. Okay, and I think that should do it. You want to always clean your Dippin' Dotty off before that paint dries on it. So I just put the washcloth in between. You can use a baby wipe. And I just make sure I get it good and clean before I move on. Now, some of these little petals that I didn't put this equal amount of pressure on them. So some of them have a little bitty petal. So I'll take the other end and just fix that where I need to. Makes it so much faster. Okay, now we're going to put yellow centers in the white flowers. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss one. Nope. I'll make this petal a little bit bigger. Okay, and let's just go, since we've got it out, let's put white centers in the yellow ones. Okay, I think everybody has a center. Hi, Kathy. Hello, hello. Mashed potatoes and peas. That sounds good too. I have both of those. Or maybe macaroni and cheese. Thanks, Elizabeth. Okay, now those are just randomly in there. But let's go with even a little bit lighter green. This is citron green. And we'll make some little stems. So it's a little bit lighter than that Hauser light green. Just to kind of give a little hint that there's a stem with them. And we can even come back and put some little leaves on them if we want to. All right, let's come back with this Hauser light green and see what we think about some leaves. I'm going to be careful with those dots. And then we can come and put some of that dark green in too. We can even mix them both at the same time. That dark green and that light green. This is not even on this surface and it's making noise, sorry. Just making sure you were awake. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of that dark green in there too to kind of make them stand out. And again, it's just a hint of a leaf. Okay, I am going to, right quick, because we are running out of time, I'm going to draw a little and I also want to shade around this in burnt umber. You don't want to get these too hot because the dots will cave on you. Back in this just a little bit, where it darkened up. All right, let's just put a little, like the other one had, the one that we were going by, has a little sign. Well, let's just use our chalk. Whoop. Okay, that just gives us a rough area. And we will use, go on a little bit darker color here. This is dark chocolate. Let's use it. Okay, and I'm switching to that little flat brush. Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I'm going to turn it this way so that I'm not running my hand over those dots, those flower centers. Now the chalk was just to give me an idea of where I wanted this. And the chalk will go away. And just brush it right off after everything's dry. Now this is going to take a couple of coats, 2 or 3 coats. You could put a base coat of white under it, or even this sand that we did the fence in. Now the one I was looking at on the sign, it says garden gate. This doesn't look like a gate to me. So what would you put on here? I could put, if I were going to keep it, I could put Grammy's garden, or you know, something like that. What would you put on it if it were yours? I probably won't be keeping it. It'll be going in the craft show in November. So I'll have to put something generic on it. I could come up over, could make it even a little bit larger. And then go, I can redo the nail head like it's going through the sun. So again, if you're wanting to be a part of the Tips and Techniques Tutorials Workshop, that's on February the 28th from 10 to noon Central Standard Time, 10 to noon, and then 3 to 5-ish or so. All you have to do is email me. It's free. It's a totally free class. Won't cost you anything. You'll just need something to take notes on and some kind of a surface to paint on. You can use, I'll be using probably a mixed media art book, or you can use paper sack, cardboard, poster board pieces, whatever you have to paint on just to practice some strokes on. Don't go buy anything just for that. Use what you've got at home. I know you've all got grocery sacks. You could cut those up into 5x7 pieces or 8x10 pieces and paint on those. It's just going to be a lot of practice on different strokes. And I will shade this in probably black or a darker brown and make it look like it has some wood grain in it. I'm not going to write anything on it yet because I don't know what I want on it. Okay, I'm going to put one more coat on it and do a quick ladybug, and then I'll have to finish the rest of it off camera, but I will send you a picture. I'll take a picture. The only other thing I think I'm going to do is shade around the edge here. Not positive yet. Still a work in progress. And I'll probably put another nail right there just so it kind of evens it out. Or maybe up here. Yeah. So I'll have room for words. Flowers, 25 cents. Oh, that's cute. Okay, I think that's plenty dark enough. And we'll do some probably a little bit lighter green. Well, we can do that right quick. So we'll just make some little lines here. Just want them very faint. And then we can put the words over it. All right, let's put a little ladybug on here. So red, just gonna use the first red I find. Oh, I don't like that one though. I'll take that back. Let's use Tuscan red. just going to freehand. I'll put those nail heads back on in just a second, but I'm going to get a little ladybug on here. All right, let's put one right here. So I'm going to do the body first. And that Tuscan red should cover. Sometimes I like to put gray or coral under red first. All right, let's make this one facing that way, and then I can put another one over there. So I'm just making an upside down smile. That little hump. And then I'm making it flat across the top of that, just a line. And filling it in. Now some reds don't cover like this Tuscan red. This Tuscan red covers really, really well. Okay, and then I'm going to take my black. And we're going to have that one facing to the inside. Try not to mash these dots. I think they're dry enough that we're okay. And making another smile, just about half the width. Of the other one. And then before I put any dots or anything on it, I'm going to switch to my small liner brush. This little bitty one, 0. This is a 10-0. Master's Touch, Princeton. And I'm going to do just a little highlight across the back. Get a little bit of that paint off. Across the top of the back. And then I'm going to go into that black. And we're going to do the little antennas. And I'm going to put a dot on each one. And I'm going to use my Dippin' Dotty. It's got black on it, and we'll put some black dots. On that back to make it look like a little ladybug. I think I want just a little bit of a highlight on the head too. And I'll do one on the other side, looking this other way. Now we've got a ladybug. Okay, while I've got that black on my Dippin' Dotty, I'm going to go ahead and put that nail head back on right there. And we'll put one right there so that it doesn't look like that sign's just hanging there by itself. Okay, that brown's not dark enough for what I'm wanting to do. This is bittersweet chocolate, so it's a lot darker. Let's go around this edge a little bit. I know I'm over the, am I over the 2 hour mark? I think I am. Facebook likes for you to keep your lives around 2 hours. And then I'm just going to go around and darken the edge of this a little bit with my angle brush. Remember, it'll dry darker. So I'll do that around here and then also around the edge. But I think I also, now I'll go and put another ladybug there. But I also want to do some birds. Okay, so to do birds, I just kind of do a curvy V and then just put a little center in it. So a curvy V. And just a hint of a little center in there. Making them kind of look far away. And let's put some over here on this side just to kind of even it out. So just a hint of a bird in the background. I like to do them in threes. Or just odd numbers in the groups. Okay, so I'm not sure what else I'm going to put on it, but I think for now, it looks, it's getting there. All right, likely up here. Make sure I had all of the comments, and I think I do. All right, so here you go. Be cute to sit out in the spring, to put on a put a hanger on it, or you could just set it in a little easel, or really fix it up nice. And you could, I mean, if you put food safe Mod Podge on it, you could serve something on it. So lots of different things. We could have gone this way with it and done something like the beehive and the bees. And that may be something else I put in here, some bees or something. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. I have got to go cook for Mr. Pam and have his supper ready for him. And I don't think we're going to put the rest of the handles on to the cabinets tonight. I think we'll probably do that tomorrow. But thank you. And again, thank you so much for all your prayers for little Jack. He's just doing wonderful. Still has some, a long road ahead of him and, you know, things to adjust to, but he's doing great. And we appreciate it so, so much. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to go get the kitchen smelling good. All right. Bye-bye.